How's it going? Okay, we're so excited right now because we are launching our earring frames. And those of you, I've talked to so many people that are like, Amy, I'm afraid of resin. Guys, I'm just gonna tell you, we love making things. We love crafting. We love using our hands. We love making things that are really beautiful that we can turn around and give to a friend. It's a gift and then open it up and go, this is so cute. Where did you get this? And we can say, I made it for you. I want to be able to show you today how to be able to make darling black resin earrings and be able to use a multitude of colors. See a little bit of the white in that? Look at that. So cute. Look at that. It looks like you would find it in a jewelry store, a fine jewelry store. But guess what? You're gonna make it and you're gonna be able to enjoy the bragging rights. So, you ready? Let's do this. All right, so if you're new to working with resin, two of the things that we're gonna need our A and our B. They go together as a kit. And basically the resin and the hardener have to go together. Before they're put together, nothing is gonna happen. They're just gonna stay the way they are. They're gonna be liquids. One is gonna be a resin and one's gonna be a hardener. But when you put them together, something magical happens. They become a really hard acrylic. It allows you to be able to create things like this and float things in it, whether it's a flower, whether it's sea glass, whether it's a pearl, whatever. And it really makes for some gorgeous jewelry, whether you can make bracelets, we can do decoupage, it's endless. But it's gonna start with first your resin and your hardener. These two go together. So you mix them, 1 part hardener, 1 part acrylic. Now, if you'll notice on our, look at this. I've had this sitting here and I'm gonna mix up some more. One thing you're gonna notice as you're working with it, that it's going to be a heat conductor. And so you wanna make sure that you're working with silicone. It's best not to work with glass or anything that's gonna be difficult to clean. The great thing about the silicone is, and we sell these measuring cups, is the fact that it's gonna allow you to be able to measure. On the side of each of the cups, there's little lines that act as a measuring cup. So that way you can make sure that you're getting equal amounts. So let's go on and pour it up. I'm gonna go on and take my hardener. The hardener is always gonna be thinner. And the great thing about it is when you're working with jewelry, it doesn't take that much at all. And then so the next thing I'm gonna need is my resin. The resin is thicker. Now, I realized I got started and I should have done something. One thing that I want you to do, when you're working with resin, you really need to wear surgical gloves. That way it's just gonna protect your hands. I need just a little bit more in here because I've got to make sure that I've got equal portions. So because I want you to work safely, I'm going to go in and put my gloves on. The other thing is make sure you work in a well-ventilated area. You're going to notice with different resins or different qualities, you're not going to get a better quality resin than a Maker Studio. You're just not. It's non-yellowing. You don't have to worry about it aging on you and getting yellow. And it's going to have great leveling. You're going to love how easy it is to work with. So I'm going to go on. I usually take my hardener and pour it in first, just strictly because it's thinner and it's easier to pour. So I use a craft stick just to be able to make sure that I'm getting all of the hardener off the sides of my silicone. The other thing too, I never clean these out. I will wait till the next day. I turn them inside out. It comes right off and I'm good to go. So make sure that way you're not trying to clean it the day that you're using it. It's best to just let it dry hard overnight, and then that way it's easy to clean out. That's why I always make sure that you're using silicone mixing cups. So I'm gonna make sure that I just mix this really well. Here's the other key, not only in making sure that it is the exact amount at 50-50, you wanna make sure that you stir it for 3 minutes, 3 minutes. So I'm just gonna continue to stir this. I don't wanna stir it too quickly because I wanna make sure that I don't get a whole lot of bubbles. If you do get bubbles when you're working, I will use like a heat gun or a craft gun, and I'll just kind of go over it and with the heat, and of course this is going when I do that. I'll go over it with the heat and it causes the bubbles to pop, and it also helps in the leveling. So when it sits here for just a minute, you'll notice that the air in the bubbles will start to just kind of dissipate. All right, so now I want to show you something kind of fun. I'm going to take a little bit of the resin out. I'll pour a little in here. And then I'm going to pour in a little in my next cup. And this is already mixed. I've already done my hardener and my acrylic. Now I'm going to take a little bit of our Maker Studio alcohol ink. You can add the alcohol ink. I've already cupped the tip. You can add the alcohol ink to the resin, and it allows you to be able to get now not a clear resin, but a colored resin. But you didn't know that, did you? Now I'm just looking at my color. I'm gonna add just a little bit more. Love that. When you know that you can take the alcohol ink and add it to your acrylic resin, now this opens up a whole new door of being able to make gorgeous jewelry. So now let's go on and take our white alcohol ink. I'm just gonna put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's do 8 drops. Always use a clean craft stick. You don't want to make sure you're blending them, and make sure that it's blended really well. Again, this has already got my 50% hardener, my 50% resin in it. I'm going to add just a little bit more for my white. I want to make sure that it's more opaque and not as clear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, let's see what that does. Yes, I'm happier with it. All right, so now we're going to take one of our, let's see, these shapes. I'm so into these shapes. It makes them so much fun. I'm kind of like, which one should I do? Let's go on. We'll take a square. Well, hold on. I used up my rectangle ones earlier. I'll go ahead and take this one. All right, so now in your kit, you're going to get a sheet of resin. So I'm gonna pull this off of here. And you're gonna wanna work on the sheet of resin. So it's like this, not resin, silicone. So it's a sheet like this, and it will come in the kit where you get the earrings. And I'm just gonna lay that down. I am working on some white masonite. And I'm gonna lay this down on my masonite, the frame. Now, I would suggest when you get to this point, this is some that I had mixed earlier, don't pour it in here because you're gonna have a tendency to get too much. It's really best just to stay with the popsicle stick. This will allow you a little bit more control. Look at that. How fun is that? All right, so now I'm just gonna take I've got a little bit piled on here. So let's just start to pour it out like this. It's best to kind of go slow and then just kind of allow it to go into those corners. And as it starts to naturally level, it's going to do that. I'm going to give it just a minute. I don't want to add too much because I don't want it flowing underneath my frame. Now, here's the deal. If it does start to come out and seep just a little bit underneath your earring frame, that's okay, because once it dries overnight, it's got to dry 24 hours. So if I'm working today, let's say it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, make sure that it dries till 4 o'clock the next day. Don't just think, okay, it dried overnight, it's 9 a.m., I'm gonna pop it out. Make sure that it's dried till the 24 hours later. All right, so I'm gonna add just a little bit more. I can tell over here it's not quite as full. Now, earlier, if you popped on here, you saw that we made the white. Hey, so as you pop on here, say hey. Tell me where you're tuning in from. My name is Amy Howard, and I am the Mother Maker with the Maker Studio, and we are working on earrings. We've just released a brand new series of earring frames that we love, 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 and I'm showing you how to be able to customize your resin into colors and be able to do all kinds of fun things with it. Okay, if I had stopped there, would that not have been the cutest dice? I could have made some cute dice. All right, so I'm just gonna take my pliers, and I'm actually gonna wanna get a shape here. I'm gonna kind of pull this in. Look at that. I'm just pulling the white through the earring. You can do all kinds of fun things with it, just to give it some interest. You could do a couple of different greens. You could create a malachite look. Now, I am gonna leave that alone. Can you see that? Hold on, let me see if I can get this a little bit closer for you. I wanna get just a little bit so that way you could see it. Isn't that beautiful? See the swirling in there? That's gonna dry to this beautiful black, glossy, oh, love, love, love earring. This would be a fantastic necklace too. All right, so now look at this. Remember, the earrings need to make sure that they dry a complete 24 hours. So if you make it at 4 in the afternoon, let it dry until 4 o'clock the next afternoon. Then that way you'll be able to lift it away from the silicone and attach. I'm using my jewelry pliers, and I'm attaching the earring portion to the top. So look. Are these the cutest? Look at this. Remember, we made our black resin acrylic by just adding the alcohol ink. Look at this. We came back in, we added a little bit of the white. You can even play with it. We've got the alcohol ink kit, so you can get metallic gold. You can get metallic silver, so you could be adding that in. Look at that. Absolutely, absolutely gorgeous. You can come back in and use black and a little bit of brown and make them look like tortoiseshell. It's a lot of fun. Look at this. So if you're thinking about what could I get, what could I put together and make some adorable gifts for the holidays, this is it. Because you can literally turn around and buy one of the kits of the resin and the hardener and buy the frames of all of the earrings and the necklaces that we're launching, and you'll be able to make 100 plus different ones. Who knows? This may be even a launch for your new craft business. You could totally put these on a little card and sell them at a crafts fair. People would love things like this, because I think jewelry has just gotten crazy expensive, and it's not really unusual. And then that way when somebody sees it, it's like, where did you get it? You can say, I made them. Have a great day, everybody. Save this video and share it. Share this video. Tag some friends. Your name will go in for a drawing, and we're going to be giving away a resin kit as well as the earring frames to the lucky winner. We'll be doing a drawing in 3 days. So share, share, share. And then that way I'm going to send it to you absolutely free. I hope you have a fantastic day. Mwah. Love you guys.